Welcome back to the Enterprise Joy podcast, enterprise strategies for leaders in under 5 minutes. I'm Vishal, your mover and shaker for guiding you through the crunches of decision making without perfect data all this week. This week, we have talked about acting without complete information, using intuition with discipline, creating systems that keep decisions moving, and taking accountability without slipping into blame game. Now it's time to stitch all of this together. Think of this as your data-less decision-making playbook, something that you could actually run with your team starting next week. So here it goes. The first rule of Fight Club, the first step of your playbook. Accept the playing field. The truth that we have quietly accepted is that we will never have perfect data. That's bounded rationality. Real decisions are made with limited time, limited information, and 1,000 competing priorities. The goal is to have good enough to move on and strong enough to survive the unknown. And that's where robustness comes in. Infogap theory tells us to focus on options that still work even if our assumptions are off. So instead of predicting the future, just build for a messy middle. And here's what you do for the rest of your week. On Monday, do a bias check. Start the week by creating room for dissent. Literally block 5 minutes in your meeting for someone to challenge your plans. Amy Edmondson's research on psychological safety shows that teams perform better when people can speak without fear. Then take each big decision and do a 3-column check. What we know, what we don't, and how much time we have. This alone will keep you from drifting into endless analysis. Then comes Tuesday. Pick the right lens. Not every decision needs the same tool. If your data is shaky, use Infogap. If you are tempted to wait for one more report, run the EVSI check. If the stakes are high and the future is unpredictable, do a quick scenario stress test. On Wednesday, test your intuition. Of course, pure gut feel can be dangerous, but pure data can be dangerous as well. So run a gut versus model duel. Write your instinctive choices down first and then run the numbers. If they differ, the gap tells you where to improve. The trick is knowing when the environment is noisy. On Thursday, build your learning loop. Perform 2 rituals. First, a pre-mortem. Pretend that your project has failed. Now list out the reasons and go ahead and fix the top 2 risks. Second, have a decision journal for yourself. Capture why you chose what you did, your key assumptions, and the date to revisit this. This becomes your defense against the hindsight bias. Follow it up with short after-action review meetings with your team. On Friday, perform accountability without the witch hunt. Before the week ends, map out who's doing what using the rapid model. Recommend, agree, perform, input, and decide. It will be amazing to see how much speed you will gain just by removing this role confusion. And when outcomes don't match expectations, avoid who messed up. Instead, ask, what in our system allowed this? That'll be your step towards just culture that'll improve safety and learning. On Saturday, reflect on your week. Not in a serious performance review way, but in a pulse check manner to see if your decision-making system is working. And then on Sunday, reset for the next week. Archive the week's decision journal, carry forward any unfinished reviews, and tag the key calls for next week. That's it. So here's your 10-minute starter for today. Pick 2 real decisions. Classify them as one-way or two-way doors. Run a quick 3-line decision journal for one and a 5-line pre-mortem for the other, and schedule their review now. So that's your playbook. 7 days of clear actions. Run it once and you'll see the difference. Run it for a quarter and you'll change how your team makes decisions forever. Of course, write to me on podcast@enterprisejoy.com and let me know how it goes. And if you have found this helpful, then hit that follow and continue showing up tomorrow for more of the Enterprise Joy podcast. I'm Vishal, sharing enterprise strategies for leaders in under 5 minutes.